had to drive to another state to get these things. So what do I have today? Well, first of all, the Apple mouse pad. That's the focus of the video. Less importantly, I have a very cool Mac that I'm going to go get right now. There it is. It's kind of taking up a lot of space now, but yeah, we got the Power Mac G4 Cube right here. This is the Mac that famously did really bad. It like completely failed. I think only about 150,000 of these were ever sold. So today we are going to be reinstalling the OS and taking a look at everything else. So something that's pretty neat about this computer, first of all, we're gonna hold C for CD on boot, but also, it doesn't work. Okay, whatever. Both the monitor and the computer have touch sensors on their power button. That did not sound good, but you know, if it works, it works. That also did not sound good, but it booted. We'll see if it booted into a CD or if it, you know, booted into its regular Mac OS. Alright, yeah, so it booted into what was already on here. That hard drive does not sound good. Alright, cool. No working PRAM battery. Alright, well, we are going to... Actually, where's the startup disk? I thought this thing was marketed as quiet. This is really loud. Let's see, did the CD work? Oh, the CD didn't work. Is the CD drive dead? Well, I mean, it tried to eject the CD. Oh, it's going really slowly. It's getting there. Give me the CD. Alright, there it is. Well, that didn't work very well, and I don't know if this thing would boot from USB. Hold on, let me test the CD again. It clearly does not like this CD. I think it just tried to eject and then it took the CD back. Now it's ejecting it again. I can't get it just yet. Yeah, no, it just keeps, it's barely ejecting and then it takes the CD back and then it tries to eject it again. Well, I got tweezers, so I guess I'll just kind of... There we go. I probably scratched the disc up, so now it won't be able to be used, but, you know, whatever. Alright, let me try USB booting. Alright, I got a couple of USBs. First up, we got Mac OS 9.2.2. Well, it showed up in the, in here, but it didn't show up in startup disk. Oh, there it is. Well, let's see if startup disk will recognize it, and yeah. Let's see if this thing does USB booting, or not. Hold on. Okay, well, here's the startup disk select screen. It's very gray for some reason. Most of the frame rate is being all weird to the camera. Well, our only option is this. Does it not do USB booting? Hold on, let me try a different CD. Alright, well, I didn't think we'd have to get into open firmware this early, but here we are. Oh, nice, okay. Well, I tried boot USB and we got prohibited. Alright, I have another USB that has a Mac OS 10 on it, so maybe that'll work better. Alright, cool. Well, the 10.0 USB also does not work. Alright, well, I reset the PRAM a couple times. Alright, just to test, I'm gonna put the CD in facing the other way. Maybe that'll do something different. No, it still doesn't like the CD. Alright, well, that I've been trying for quite a while. You may notice the Mac is now sideways. I've been trying to get the CD drive to work. It is just ejecting every CD. So next plan, we're just going to open it up. Alright, so pretty interesting thing about this computer, it's extremely easy to disassemble. This little handle here, it does that, and then you just take the entire thing out. And then there's the shell. Okay, here's our core, as Apple called it. You know, the Apple core. Here's our RAM. I already looked at this earlier. I think this one right here in the middle is 512 megabytes, so I can assume that that's what the others are, which would be, I think that would max out the RAM. We've got our airport card on this side, which is actually pretty neat. It just comes with a built-in airport card. There it is. There's the card. On this side we got metal plate, and then this side is, well, here's the hard drive, but also the other side of the RAM. It does kind of look like there's a PRAM battery slot right there, this little thing here, and I have one good PRAM battery left. Alright, there's a PRAM battery. On this side we got everything. I think this might be the GPU, yeah, ATI. But we also already went over that side. And then on the bottom, or the top when it's sitting normally, we got the, where the air gets, blown out, and the touch sensor. Alright, here's what I'm trying now. We're just disassembling the whole thing. I've got a guide pulled up off to the side. I'll probably link it in the description. But that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to take out the super drive, clean it out and everything. Alright, well, I got the slot loading drive out. It's out of there. I gotta disassemble it now. Well, I couldn't seem to disassemble the CD drive, but my best solution here, I stole another hard drive. I got it out of the iMac G3. It uses all the same connectors. I switched over the jumpers. I think this should probably be good to use. Alright, I'm gonna have to test this with it partially disassembled. Alright, well, I plugged it in and it kind of powered itself on. There it goes. Alright, well, I don't know really what it's doing at this point, but we have the Happy Mac and a loading cursor. Except it's the Happy Mac and loading cursor from OS 10, and that's kind of what's installed on here, so we'll see if it'll actually boot properly. Well, the hard drive sounds like it's having a great time right now. There we go, we got the taskbar, the dock, and yeah, we booted into OS 10.0. The refresh rate's still weird on the monitor. Alright, about this Mac, what does it show? 1.5 gigs of memory, so we are maxed out. That's the best I can get the screen to show. It's actually really yellow from my view for some reason. Anyways, yeah, we got 10.0 on here. System profiler, yeah, macOS 10.0. I think this is like build 1, or like the build 1 of the full release. Yep, all 3 slots have 512 megabytes of RAM. Devices and volumes, it does show display card. Alright, USB and USB. I don't see the CD drive on here though, which is a little strange, but maybe I just didn't plug it in right. I don't know. The CD drive is dead anyways. Date and time settings are real messed up. I gotta fix that. I got a PRAM battery in here, so should be able to save. Alright, let's see. Can I use anything else as a startup disk? I can, but this is macOS 9.0, and I don't know if that was supported on here. And we also got macOS 10 Developer Preview 3. I will try macOS 9 first. Actually, I should probably, you know, reassemble it first. Because, well, this is the current setup we're running, and I'm not sure that's exactly the best setup to have. It's also kind of on its side right now, so we will just, oh yeah, that puts it in sleep mode, I forgot. Alright, let's reassemble this thing. Okay, I guess that metal is, like, very much connected to the power button. Turn off. Okay, there it goes. I'm just gonna unplug it. Dude, it's turning itself back on now. Okay. Alright, I unplugged it. You're good to reassemble it. Hopefully nothing got messed up because I unplugged it. Alright, everything's reassembled. Now I gotta plug everything back in. Alright, I think everything's back together, and we can boot the Mac and hold Option to see what options we have. I still don't get a chime though, that's weird. Alright, here's our boot picker. We got Mac OS 10. Wasn't even searching for anything else, it's just Mac OS 10. That's all, it just stops once it sees Mac OS 10. Okay, well, I guess the best we have is Mac OS 10. This hard drive sounds even worse. This is so slow. It's Mac OS 10. This wasn't even close to the end of support for this Mac. This thing ran Tiger, and that booted faster than 4 versions before. Whatever. Alright, it did save the date, so the PRAM battery is working, and that is the right spot for it. Oh yeah, I should probably go mess with the sound settings, wherever that is. I think we can add it to the taskbar. There we go. There's those speakers. I don't actually know if the really big speaker that was in the background and is now on the right side of the video is actually doing anything. Alright, startup disk. Can we boot from Mac OS 9? Okay, I guess it doesn't want to boot from Mac OS 9. Alright, next item in the startup disk menu, we have Mac OS 10 Developer Preview 3. I doubt this will boot since Mac OS 10.0 was the last one to be installed onto this hard drive. So if it was looking for the first operating system that it could boot from, it's probably just Mac OS 10. Well, I mean, got the Happy Mac, but I don't know if this is Developer Preview or if it's just went back to OS 10. The best sign we'll get of this being Developer Preview 3 is if it kernel panics, or, you know, if it boots. Yeah, okay, we just got regular 10.0. Well, I guess the other 2 operating systems on here are completely useless, but at least this boots 10.0. Well, I would have liked the DVD drive to work, but, you know, here's a CD, drop it in. Yeah, the eject key didn't really work on this version, did it? I do want to see if Classic will be able to boot Mac OS 9 though. Yeah, no. Well, now that everything's sorted out and we technically got a fresh version of Mac OS 10 on here, I got a bonus. It's the manual for the, well, about this Mac, you know, book. So we can look through this and find some little neat details. That's neat. Here's all the ports, a whole port selection. We got Apple something, some DVI peripheral version, VGA modem, power, which is also another weird peripheral thing, latch. It's just called latch, handle that you press and pull up. This is also one of the last Macs to have the reset and programmer button on them, or the interrupt button. We got the Ethernet, security lock. I don't know if that's specifically Kensington security lock, but it's a security lock. 2 FireWire 400 and 2 USB 1.1. Then it describes what each of them does. Oh, there it is. Apple Display Connector. Oh, also all the software demos on here are all using Mac OS 9. There is basically nothing in here about Mac OS 10. We got iMovie 2. We got a bunch of internet things. Probably none of it works anymore. I don't know what this is. In this little part here, there's just kind of a line. It's like they tried to cross something out, one of the options there. But I don't know what it is, because I don't know Mac OS 9 that well, and this thing will not boot Mac OS 9. It's got all the old web pages, iReview, Original Apple Care, iCards, Apple Hot News. There's the cinema display, the really long one. Oh, there's the Apple Store page too. You got the iMac, looks like the slot loading one, Power Mac G4 Tower, iBook clamshell, and PowerBook. Oh, there's also I think this is the speaker or whatever that was, no, that right there. Yeah. Yeah, it also just kind of says that you can remove the coconut part of the coconut speakers. You just kind of pop them out. That's pretty neat. Oh, there's the guide for the inserting DVDs, which actually I probably should have tried to insert just a DVD, like a blank one. I think I have one. Alright, well, I got a blank DVD, so label facing towards me, going into the drive. I think there's already something in here. Hold on. Yep, there was a CD in there. Alright, take 2. DVD, face towards me, going into the drive. It still doesn't like it, and I have one less DVD. Oh, here's the CRT cinema display. Tells you how to sit and look at a screen. There's a bunch of random maintenance things. It also tells you about a grounding plug, a bunch of safety things too. Well, that is the whole manual, apple.com on the back. And that means that now is the end of the video. Okay, well, we had some good times. I robbed an iMac G3 of its hard drive. So yeah, good times. Yeah, okay, well, I will see you in the next video. Here's a hint as to what the next video will be about. It's pretty good. It's gonna be very good, yeah. There's your hint. Bye.